Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to do a little bit of a Fang showcase, but this is going to be a new type of video. This is going to be my first time using her in PvP here in like 10 minutes when we actually throw her in there. So I'm going to show you who I think she's going to synergize well with, what you should look for in potential teammates, what kind of vision card she's going to want to run, whether you're building her in a Pierce group or in an element group or kind of a mix of the two. And then I'm going to throw my best team comp together with my account that I can do, and then hopefully you can use these tips or whatever to make your team comp's best account for, you know, whatever you're rolling on your account over there. So first thing I want to do, I want to jump over here to her page. When you're thinking of teammates for her, that's where we're going to start. I want to highlight one skill in particular, and it is her bread and butter skill, Arcane Defense 2. This is like, you're going to cast this every fight, and the key is it gives attack agility and single target resist to your allies. Yes, the shield for yourself is great. Yes, the reaction block rate for yourself is great, but we're talking about team building here, and she's going to cast this every fight. So when you're looking for somebody to team up with her, and if you want your whole group buffing each other, you want to look out for overlap on especially the single target resist, because 25 single target resist, that's a premium buff. You don't want to waste that by having two different units casting it. Then if you can also not have those teammates buff your attack and agility, that would be nice as well. So for example, I'll start with a bad example. Let's start with Asterius the Erudite, another really strong lightning unit. I say another really strong. I feel like Fang's going to be pretty good. Asterius the Erudite is a very strong lightning unit. So if you were wanting to maybe run them together, there's a bit of a problem there. Asterius has Power of the Crystal. It's an agility buff for his allies and a single target resist 25 buff for his allies. That's negative synergy right there. You don't want to run these two together, or you don't want to run them together if they're going to be both using what is maybe their best group buff. So that one feels a little awkward. So I'll be avoiding running him. Now, on the flip side of that, you have a unit like Roth Winter right here, who brings a very, very good buff in her Supplicant sub job, AoE resist 20 for your allies. Now we're talking. We're getting that single target resist from Fang. We're getting that AoE resist buff from Winter Roth. This also gives critical evade for allies and light and dark resist. You stack Rite of Refuge with Fang's arcane defense, and you are going to be a hard person to kill. That is some layered defenses with some layered offense. That's a great buff from Roth Winter right there to run with Fang. Also, there's always a Lie of the Alabaster. Like when you're thinking lightning element units with an AoE resist buff, Dancing Flower Blessing does AoE resist among all of the other things it does. This actually gives you 30 AoE resist, which goes really, really well with Fang, who rocks at just like walks into a fight. Did I really just back all the way out of her page? Whoops. She walks into a fight with 15 from her dream ability. So Winter, Bridal Elia, a really good option for her. Winter Roth, a really good option for her. And if you're looking for just pure piercing units, I would do the same kind of calculations that you just saw me do there. I would look for piercing units that could bring that AoE resist or some other kind of useful group buff besides single target resist, agility, and attack. So that's what I'm looking at when I'm building her for a team comp. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is vision cards. There's a couple different ways to look at this, and I want to start by looking at the spear cards. This is where I like to start. Even if I'm planning on building a mono element team, I like to see if I have a spear vision card that also hits a lot of other good lightning units. And whenever you are looking at a spear group card, I think you start with, did I play with Full Metal Alchemist when the Full Metal Alchemist event was out? And was I smart enough to actually build this card? I say that because I might not have been myself. Anyway, this is amazing because it's going to give you unit resist. It's going to give you agility and single target resist all wrapped up in one card. If you can build a team, if you're building a Pierce team, I think you use this if you have it. And even if you're building a lightning team, you have Bridal Elia on here with Fang, and you have some useful tanks right here like Alphonse. You have Resnick, who if you want to run a support, you have Renan if you want a mage. There's a powerful mod mono lightning team that can also take advantage of this card. However, not everybody has that. So go through this list. Again, looking for your big three, your unit resist, your area resist, and your agility. See if you have those. And if you're trying to run a Pierce team, build around what you have here. There's a card still sitting in the summon area right now if you want to pull it. That's an agility card. It's an agility, acquired AP, and elemental chain resist. So it's not like the most premium of stats. It's also a magic scaling card, so you would need to be running like a mage. And I don't love this one for the lightning element. Winter Wrath being on there is a nice thing, but who's your third lightning element unit? You might have to splash out of lightning into like water or fire or something else. Dialdo maybe for a Pierce tank. You have to splash around a little bit, I think, if you want to make use of that card. So just come through here, look for your AoE resist, your unit resist, and your agility cards. When I was doing that myself, I found that outside of the Full Metal Alchemist card, I had a hard time finding one that would build well into mono lightning. My account, like my main account's Pierce units are okay. Like I obviously have a lot of Pierce units, but my Pierce Vision cards, it's not something that I was like building towards on my main account. Now on my sub account, sure, but my main account is a lightning focused account. So I'm really looking to double dip if I have one of these Vision cards built, and it's not been the easiest thing to find. Like right here, you get a nice AoE resist with slash resist and acquired AP, but if I'm trying to build mono lightning, okay, Elia Vega, that's all right. Summer Helen is pretty good. There's the tank again. You could definitely make use of this card for your AoE resist card if you had an attack scaling unit that wanted to use it. So go through there and look. Now, alternatively, what you can do, and we'll go ahead and switch scenes right here real quick. You can come in here and look at your vision cards for lightning. Lightning has a very good vision card selection, and I want to shout out Seeds of Fate. This is a card that when Squall came out was often put in the sub slot for his teams because you have the Dreamiest Egg that also had single target resist on it but gave slash attack resist penetration, which if you were running like a Squall Lightning Astrius team, you wanted this slash attack pin more than you wanted the other stats on Squall's card. However, that's not the world necessarily now. If you're running, Fang, Squall, and then maybe another Piercing lightning unit or a tanking lightning unit, this strike resist might turn out to be really valuable. 20% strike resist definitely gives you a little bit more of an edge if you're facing some of those strike attack teams that are floating around right now, and Fang is going to like every stat on this card. So this is a card I really like for unit resist for lightning. Wish Upon a Dream, here's an AoE resist card, but it's AoE resist magic attack dex. It scales off of magic, so you'd have to be running a mage, maybe something like Winter Wrath if you're trying to put that one in there. Odin's Chosen is another AoE resist card that gives lightning attack and critical evade. I like this one more for an AoE resist option for your mono lightning teams, and you can go get this card right now. So if you're pulling Fang and you want to play mono lightning, this is a good option. It's also if you're running if you're running your girl Lightning with Fang, hey, she's going to get a little bit of a bonus buff right here from this card as well. Okay, then you have Salir versus Raychez round 30. This is a mono lightning agility card with acquired AP and water resist. So if you do end up fighting some water teams, this just kind of guarantees that you will dunk them. Besides the fact that you're already mono lightning into water, which is already looking really good. So there's kind of your card options right there. It starts getting worse the further I went in here. Like, yeah, the more lightning cards I looked at, there's another, we already mentioned Dreamiest Egg. It gets rough. So it's really, in my opinion, Seeds of Fate, Wish Upon a Demon, but I'm going to bump that one down. I think you go Seeds of Fate, Odin's Chosen, and Salir versus Raychez if you're only able to look at the mono lightning cards and if you have them. So anyway, that's kind of a breakdown of the different cards that are out there for Fang. What I want to do next is build a team comp with her and see how she performs in PvP. So we're just going to do that live. I'm going to jump into the formation screen right here. And here's what I'm thinking about. I want to run, so I'm going to go dual. I want to run, obviously, Fang, right? So boom, she's in there. Then I want to run for my AoE resist buff. I kind of want to run Winter Wrath. I think this will help feature Fang a little bit more. If I run Bridal Elia, it sort of feels like, hey, look, Bridal Elia in here doing her thing. And then for my third unit, I just like Squall. He's my favorite lightning unit in the game because Squall's my main dude from FF8, and Squall's a guy who can kind of take care of himself. So how do I want to make this happen? Squall isn't really contributing a group buff to this. So here's my group buffer. Squall's going to buff himself. Let's build around this. Let's build. So first of all, let's go with espers. What kind of esper do you want to run on Fang? Well, here's what you're looking for. Lightning attack, man killer, pierce attack. You're looking for those 4 things. Whatever you have that brings those is going to do it for you. And if you want her to be fast, look for one of your faster espers like Master Coral or Odin. If you need to slow her down, you can just sort by agility and scroll through this list a little bit more. Maybe you go like regular Coral if you want to drop her by 4 agility, something like that. I'm going to start with a basic one. I'm going to go Odin just to start things off. Now for Winter Wrath, again, kind of same thing. I'm going to give her Dark Ramu. That's a great one for her. And then for Squall, I'll go Master Coral. That's 3 20 agility espers right there, and I need to keep that in mind because let's say I want to put Squall in the middle of this group, right? I'm going to put Squall in the middle, so I'll put Wrath here, and my goal, let's say my goal, and we'll have to see how the map plays out here in a minute, is to have these 2 units run to the middle and buff everybody. That would mean I would want Fang running to Squall. Her buff is only range 1, so they'll have to stand right next to each other to buff. And then Wrath can come in from the side and give everybody her AoE resist buff, and then we are off to the races. Now, in terms of vision cards, I'm going to use Squall's vision card right here. I'll go ahead and sort by lightning to start this off. There's my unit resist, attack, and strike attack resist card. So there we go. It also does not boost Squall's agility. I'll need him to be the slowest member of my team, but I want him to be just barely the slowest member of my team. So right now he's still sitting at 94. For Fang, I haven't even set her support abilities here. So let's go look at those real quick, actually. Which ones are we going to want to use? I'm going to pull those up. When we're doing Fang, I think you have to run High Dragoon Lore. You want that defense, pin, and attack. And then I think I'll do High Dragoon Focus. I think I just go both High Dragoon sub job buffs, which is an interesting thing to have to do. This one is like, when your HP is above 80%, you get 15% more damage. That is tempting. That's nice. But I need her to be faster than Squall, so I might be running this. It also synergizes well with that strike resistance with Squall's vision card, so fighting some strike teams could be nice. I'm going to try High Dragoon Lore and High Dragoon Focus to start off this build. So let's go ahead and select those. High Dragoon Lore, boom. High Dragoon Focus, boom. And now my agility is at 94. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set guard. Her support ability or her counter abilities are not good. So you just set guard and deal with it. She's at 94, pre-vision card. Squall, who I need her to be just a little bit faster than, is also at 94. So what I can do now is think, okay, can I give her a vision card that gives her a little bit of agility to put her above Squall? Well, what other vision cards was I trying to run? Here's Lightning's vision card. This is going to give me the AoE resist, the lightning attack up, and the critical evade. That's good. It'll also give her, since she's a lightning unit, attack and accuracy. Okay, that seems nice. It doesn't take care of my agility yet, but you know what? I'm still going to do it because I need to get my AoE resist, or no, that's my AoE resist. I need to get my agility from my next card. I'm going to need to put that on Roth. It's going to be Salir versus Raychez. So there we go, acquired AP water resist. Now, just with those vision card setups, I'm basically built to fight 2 things. I can go fight strike teams, or I could try to go fight strike teams. I mean, 2P might just dunk me. Like, you never know. She might just destroy this whole team, maybe. But maybe I find some non-2P strike teams or water teams. I have good strike resist. I have good water resist kind of built in on top of the tankiness I'm going to get from all of the single target and AoE resist stacking that I'm doing. So far, so good. Now, what is your agility? 101. She's doing really good. She's already faster than Squall, but I need her to not be too much faster than, well, wait, 101. I put the agility card in. 103. She's actually too slow. So we're 103, 103, 101. Aha, the agility card went on there and gave her a little bit, she needs some more. She needs some more love. So we're going to look into sub cards now. For me, with sub cards, I'm going to stick with my lightning element cards because that's what I got. What do I even have here? Like, this is a good option. I'll probably put this one on Squall It gives that attack 15%. That's really nice. Lightning Coral. Do I have any cards here that give agility? Here's one. Defense piercing, pierce attack resist, slash attack up. What I could do here to be a little cheeky is put this in the sub slot for Fang. Now she has one more agility than Squall. So I can run them both on a high agility Trust Master or something like that, and she will be at +1. Okay, Squall, what do I want from you now? Well, let's go ahead and do Dreamiest of Eggs. I'll stack a little bit more unit resist. It's only 6 more, but it's HP slash attack piercing, which he will really like, and that unit resist, so I'll throw that on here. And then I could layer on some more agility. I think that's probably what I'll do. So for, lightning cards, I'm gonna have to get off of those now. Like, here's more AoE resist, but I don't really want the rest of those stats. I'm gonna have to go for an agility card. So I could look back towards the piercing page, but nothing really hits Squall and Elias. So I'm just gonna have to go rainbow agility card here, and I'm gonna scroll all the way down to my Black Rose Helena card. Let's sort by rarity. Man, oh man, the vision card sorting has gotten better in recent days and months and years and all of that, but it's still not the smoothest process in the world. Anyway, we're gonna go find this one. There's 8% more agility, and I'm gonna check my agilities again. So we're at 108 here. I want him to be at 107. Perfect. And then I want her to be, she needs to be a little bit faster. Okay, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. She can get speedier, or I can find a way of drawing Squall into her, but I want these two to really be stacking those resists because they're going to be closing the gap and fighting. So what I'll do now is go to my Trust Masters. I'm going to sort those by agility like this, and I'm going to make sure that she gets the fastest one. So here's Reminiscent Hairpin. That's 11 agility because I have Trust Stone set on her. So that's good. It's, do I care about Ashen Seal? Not really. So I'll just throw that on here, and I'll make sure that she has the Trust Stone ability turned off. She's got better things to do than cast that buff. Okay, good. And we're going to learn about Lightning or Fang's turn order. So there we go. She's at 119 now. So for Squall, if she's at 119, he can get, well, quite a bit of agility right now. So let's see what Squall looks like with a nice, like, let's go with maybe a Heart of Flutter, a little single target resist move buff for him. That'll put him at 118, I believe. Yep, 118. So we're 118 there, 119 there. That's what we're talking about. Now, Fang needs to hit that 119 or 120. So for her, what I'll do is I'll just look for something like, oh, she could wear Bells, for example. I don't need her casting her TMR buff. Bells puts her at 115, so she's not quite there yet. She's a little bit too slow, and she seems to be a little bit limited in what Trust Master she can wear. That's an interesting thing that I didn't see coming. No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? She doesn't have Trust Stones equipped yet. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'll tell you what, for the sake of this video, I'm literally just going to copy and paste Squalls. So I'm going to go set Trust Stones. I'm going to copy set. This is not going to be the most ideal build for Fang, but this is what she's missing. I'm just going to paste his over there. It's pretty good. Like, it has the slash attack. I mean, yeah, you're not going to necessarily love that, but it's still okay, and it puts her at 121. So I could slow her down a little bit if I wanted to. Like, I could drop Bells for something more like, oh, we could drop by 2 and be about perfect. Let's look towards maybe just like, this one, Silent Pinion. That'll put us to 119. I actually want her going before Roth. So let's put her one more. Let's run like Laura Croft's Backpack or Storm Bunny Hood. Extreme Charge, do I want that? Nope. Okay, so we'll put Dream Bunny Hood on there. And now my agilities are set up. We're 120 here. We're 119 here, and we're 118 here. In theory, this should make boom, boom, boom. We'll see how that actually plays out, because sometimes when they get close to each other, they buff each other's agility, and then things get whacked. So we might have to adjust that a little bit. Now, for the rest of her gear, I'm going to go ahead and just give her her spear real quick. Let's sort this by attack this time. Here we go. Boom. Boom, bladed lance. And Bladed Lance is okay. I like the accuracy to initial AP is really what's kind of nice here. This HP below 20% is weak. But we'll use that for now. And then for her armor, we're going to give her some more unit resist with the survival vest, just continuing to stack that unit resist and AoE resist. For Squall, we'll give him his Lionheart +5, and we will give him, well, you know what, Squall, you can also have a survival vest and just stack that unit resist, stack that AoE resist. And then for our girl Raph right here, let's honestly, you probably want a Dawn Lantern Plus. I'm going to do Fairy Baton. I'll give her hers. So we'll do Fairy Baton, and we will do, I'm out of survival vest, so how about, well, heck, anything. I don't care. Just take a platinum robe for now. This is a Raph showcase. No, it's a Fang showcase, not a Raph showcase. So there's our setup. Now, what we're going to learn here is a couple of things. One, I think with Fang, what sub job do you run? That's kind of hard. I'm going to go operative here just to have access to some slashing type damage. But I think when you do, you come down here and look at her buffs, right? You don't want this buff on. Decreased chance of being targeted, raise evasion rate. Who cares about that? And then disinformation, I think you turn that off too. So now you have access to some slashing moves, and then I think you leave all of her buffs in her main kit on, which is going to be Arcane Defense 2, the one she wants to use the most, and then go ahead and have her drop her courage on herself. Alternatively, if you did have a good TMR buff, you could go big group buff into TMR buff, and that's kind of your 2-turn rotation for buffs right there. You can see we're walking into the fight, pre-buffs at 41 unit resist, 38 AoE resist. That's insane. That's insane. And we're going to add 25 to 30 more of those depending on like what your comp setup is. For Squall, we're going to make sure that he's going to use this buff right here to give himself some more unit resist, and he's going to be a unit resist god. So let's make sure Heart of Flutter is active, and Squall's just going to cast his own buffs, right? Squall takes care of himself. And then for Raph, I want to make sure her supplicant buff is on and her other buffs are not. So cheerful resist, I'm going to go ahead and turn that one off. So she'll use the supplicant buff first. Magical buildup is fine. Okay, supplicant buff, let's make sure the AoE resist buff is on and not the attack agility buff, since we're already getting that. Let's go there. Looks like we're set up good. So let's try it. Let's go ahead and jump into a battle and see how things work out. Now, we do have some options. We have some movement we can do in the comp if we need to. Keep in mind, when you have a unit like Raph, I'll go ahead and let's fight something that we built to fight. Is there a Pierce team out here, or a Strike team out here? There's one probably. Okay, two P's in there. So this is going to be a real thing. This is going to be a real thing. We'll see if we got the accuracy to actually land some attacks on her. Squall can do it, and Fang does have accuracy on her weapon. There's a little bit of accuracy in her build. We'll see. So here's what to watch out for early in one of these tests. You want to make sure your buff layering is correct. So I'm going to kick on unit effects as soon as we jump in. I want Fang running to Squall, buffing. Then I want Winter Raph coming in and buffing the whole team. Then I want Squall buffing himself and running towards the enemy with Fang following him in. What I don't want to see happen is Fang buffing Squall and then Fang buffing Winter Raph. If that's the case, I'm going to need to do a little bit of like tuning. I'm going to need to figure something out. I don't want Squall suiciding by himself, and there is a potential for that if Fang will be running around dropping buffs on people. Now, I think she might not, because her big buff gives her the shield, which I think plays to her advantage, because a lot of times when units buff themselves, when they do their group buff, but their group buff also gives them like the physical damage reduction shield, they then won't keep reapplying that shield to themselves, which will prevent them from, reusing the group buff unnecessarily. Also, pro tip: 1, mute your mic when you have to sneeze, and 2, whenever you're making a YouTube video, it's guaranteed that you will have the longest loading times in history. Okay, so Fang moved in and buffed Squall first. That's great. Let's turn unit effects on. And then there we go. We get Rite of Refuge coming in right over the top. We are set up with our buffs, and Squall is moving in. So this is great. The buff rotation is looking good so far. Now, the enemy team is going to do all of their buffing too. Nothing we can really do about that. There's Trace Counter Mode. 2P is going to be the most annoying unit we got to deal with. But Fang lands the first attack, and Squall's out there hitting people back. We didn't didn't get the courage buff online. So that is something that's a little bit worrying, but we do have a lot of strike resist. You see Squall just like basically disregard that attack from New Catone. This one will probably hit a little bit harder from Bridal Elia. Yeah, I say a little bit harder. How about a lot harder? And then 2P is going to look for the finisher. She uses the axe to do it. So Squall does end up getting a little bit overextended and kills himself, but we're kind of working 2P down. And now Dispelling Violet comes in and we're not looking awful at this point. If we can get some more turns, if we can survive their onslaught, which our physical damage shield from Fang is definitely helping. They've broken it now, but she's going to get another chance at these people to CT down. Wouldn't that be something if that was the thing that like wrecked us? But anyway, there we go. We land the damage on 2P. She's taken out. Elia's hate down procs, but this was already getting channeled. We've killed Elia. We've killed 2P. And it's Catone versus all of us. And I think we have the strike resist here to just deal. Okay, there's a poke. We ended up running out of AP, which is a little bit concerning. Roth almost gets lapped to death. And then, oh God, Befuddling Spearfall got dodged. We could end up losing because Catone picks up crystals for the whole fight, but we actually pick up crystals before her. So that's good. Roth finishes her off. And you know what? That's a pretty successful first run. Now let's try it again. Just because it worked once doesn't mean it'll work twice. And I think what I want to do is slow Squall down a little bit. I'd like my man Squall to cast his self buff before he runs in there, not just his TMR and run in there and die. So what I'm going to do to accomplish that is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn off Squall's TMR buff, maybe just for this map, or at least against these more aggressive teams. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to make sure he still has his, his important buffs on. I could turn this on, right? Like I could have him raise slash attack and defensive allies. And give himself protect. That's not a terrible idea, but I think force barrier is going to be more important right there. Let's turn force barrier on. That'll give him more strike resist. So we'll try that. We'll try this setup against the strike teams and see how that goes. Or maybe we'll find a water team. This should be a beatdown. Okay, let's see if we beat this down the way we think we should. So in theory, with our vision card setup, being a lightning element team, running 2 lightning element espers that I believe give like 10 or more water resist each, we should smash this team. This should be an easy win, and I want to see Fang doing some good damage. I am heartened already by the fact that her dual smite, which here, and I'll throw this on the screen while we're waiting for this to load. This was the move she was using right here to deal all that damage to 2P. It has that boosted hit chance. So that plus, isn't she getting some from her master ability? Maybe she is. So Fang, she's getting accuracy here, and her weapon has accuracy. So you combine all those factors, and she ended up being able to hit the very annoying 2P. That was probably not a full evade build. I mean, it wasn't a mono earth team or anything like that, where you're like 2P, special Halloween Lucio build thing going on, but it's so far so good. Okay, we're stacking our buffs again. I'm going to go ahead and turn, if it will ever let me click the hamburger menu, I will turn unit effects back on. There we are. And I just want to see like big damage numbers. I want to see them unable to hurt us. And that is the goal here. That's the goal. So Fang moving in. She's going to go extreme charge right there. I need to turn that off. That's not what I wanted. I wanted her casting courage on her second buff. So there's an adjustment I'll make for the third fight, is turn extreme charge off. And so she'll just put courage and charge forward. I really want her like bash brothering up there with Squall. And look at that. Squall taking like no damage. He is made blind, but he's about to eat 2 limit breaks and be one healthy boy afterwards. So let's see here. Oh yeah, we're looking good so far. Their tank's going to try to hit us. Did we dodge this? Well, Roth did. For some reason, Roth is like way up there. Here's Blitz 2. Decent damage. Squall going to finish her off. Bam, blasting zone from Squall hits like a truck. Okay, Roth moving in. Roth dropping spears. Roth good synergy again with Fang for a couple reasons. One of them, she has piercing damage in her kit. She has quite a bit of piercing damage. There is the courage buff, and keep in mind that courage buff also gives 20 AP, which you saw in our first fight was a problem. Fang ran straight out of AP. She's going to finish this fight right here. They status affected us enough that it was kind of annoying. Like the blind on Squall made that a little bit harder. The berserk on Winter Roth obviously made that a little bit harder. So you could make some trust stone adjustments right there. if you're fighting teams that consistently are doing annoying status effects to you, or you could look for pieces of gear that can give those resists. I want to go ahead and go into Fang here. I believe that was a, oh wait, no, that is a, I had her TMR buff on. Whoops, we'll do that. And now we should be in our final form. And I'll tell you what, let's do the annoyed. I hate that you have to do this. Like, at least as far as I know, you have to like go into a mission and turn ability effects on if you want it to, if you want to not have to do it in the loadings, you know, once you're in the duel. So anyway, it's not that big of a deal, but there we go. Okay, let's do another battle. Looking for a strike team if we can find one. There's a water team if that's what we end up needing to do, but I would much rather showcase into strike to see if we can beat that again. There's mono lightning. That's not a bad option. We're not built for it per se, but it is a bridal Elia. Why not? Let's give it a run. It's a cup, you know, we got a little bit of a mirror there in slot 2 for them with our winter Roth. And I'm really, I'll tell you what, one thing I'm liking so far about this, again, this is my first night using Fang. This is, you're seeing my third fight with her in this video. It's also my third fight overall. One thing I'm liking with her is the synergy with Winter Roth, a unit that I just love what her kit looks like on paper, but I never had the perfect opportunity, or at least I never felt like I had the perfect opportunity to use her until now. And this feels good. Stacking all that unit resist and AoE resist, you saw. I mean, 2P, elemental disadvantage, top tier unit in the game. One of the top tier units in this game anyway, was out here wrecking, right? She was putting in some work. If I was looking to make this comp better, here's what I would start doing. Okay, I'll start giving some opinions on the unit. Obviously, I can't judge her completely yet, but my early impression is this. Her accuracy is decent enough. You put an accuracy piece of gear on her, I think you're solid in accuracy. If you can find some accuracy passives or something, maybe a vision, I don't know, vision card Esper, find some more accuracy. She's probably gonna be able to hit things with that boosted accuracy move. I think a good TMR buff, if you can work it into your agility stacking, would be great. I think that might really put her over the top, because right now she's gonna do her proper rotation for just using her kit right here. You're about to see it. She's gonna now cast her courage buff on herself. Nope, she got into range again. Gosh, I don't love that. I don't love that. So I'm making sure to get her most important buff off, but if she ends up in range turn 2, oof. Now, and you don't want to turn the move she just did off, because that's her boosted accuracy move, I think. So you really want to keep that on. That is a little bit of a problem. She's at 55 AP. Break Thrust kills Astria, so she's putting out good damage. She didn't even crit there. We get the AoE resist buff refreshed. Again, nice thing about Winter Roth is you get a little bit of a boost versus dark and light as well with that buff. Anyway, Squall out here just living through stuff. He's finally dead. So they burn through us, but it's our turn next. Break Thrust continuing to just put out DPS. Sonic counter's not going to save you, Elia. You're going to take a Comet, and then it's Roth versus us. We'll see. We got Roth, they got Roth, but we also have Fang. I like our odds here. Let's see. Yeah, the slow is a little bit unfortunate, but we live through it. We're out of AP again, so there's that. And if we lose this, it's going to be the AP problem that buries us. Taking that slow definitely hurt. Magic Strike comes out. We're going to be way better against physical than we are against magic. Drain Lance. I would have liked to also pick up the crystal. Feel free to pick up the crystal too there, Fang. No, we're going to get chained down. Okay, so we lose that fight. Now, why did we lose that fight? It seemed like we were in a perfect place to win it. We lost because Fang ran out of AP. Had she had AP, she kills them. So, oh man, that's a problem. That's an issue. So let's look at her kit real quick. I think we're going to be done doing some fights for now. Let's look at her kit. So what is causing us to get into that range early? We're running these passives. We're not running a move up passive, so that's not hurting us. She's using Blitz. If she's using Blitz 2, we could just turn that off. The thing I don't like about turning Blitz 2 off is it's her barrier destruction seal, and she's counting on this barrier to stay alive. So you do lose a little bit of utility, but on a map that's this short, I think you might need to turn Blitz 2 off so she gets that courage and she gets the AP from casting that skill, because her courage buff is going to give you 14 AP base, like before you add, bonus modifiers or whatever, it's going to give you 14 plus 20. Again, before modifiers are added. So, yes, courage is fine, but really, you want that 34 more AP. I think we win that fight with 34 more AP. So, I said that was going to be my last fight. Let's make that adjustment and then watch again. So, party formation. Let's turn off Blitz 2. Let's just see if that fixes the little problem. And if so, then I think we have her tuned, at least tuned for this map, on what we want to do. We'll see if we can fight a strike team again. That is what I want to fight. It'd be cool if I could fight the same team again, like if that was just chilling on here. Surprisingly, we're having a little bit of a hard time finding strikes, so we'll fight water. Yep. Again, we should smash water. And the big thing here is not that if we win or not. I'm going to assume that we win. It's the big deal is she working correctly? In terms of other things I'm feeling about her, I definitely feel like she is a 90 cost unit right now. Squall feels maybe a little more powerful than her in my first impression, but I mean, I think Squall's a beast. And she just, I know how to play Squall too, right? Like I've played Squall 200 times. This is my first time playing Fang. And so I think she will be on his level once, if like this tuning works. And if I could find her, maybe she would even surpass him if I could find her like the perfect TMR to run. You could always go something like double haste TMRs, right? Like have Squall run his Trust Master and then have Fang run Bradley's. If you have haste TMRs, that could help. You could run, I mean, I could just go Bells, honestly. Like if I wanted to solve this AP problem altogether, I could just cast Bells, but then I lose out on Courage. Is that worth it? No, I don't think so, because even though I think Courage is not anywhere near as good as it used to be in War of the Visions because there's so much Courage to spell, I also don't think AP Restore in PvP is nearly as good as it used to be, because when Veritas's TMR exists in the game and people use that thing a lot. So I think I like her casting her Courage buff and then just letting the cards fall, but we'll find out. We'll see. So they got Ferris, Summer Glassy, and Summer Elsorel. That's their squad. We'll see how we fare against this. Again, we are stacked on water resist. Their team's also not really charging in. We're going to end up in a we have the opposite problem. Squall actually ran out of things to do. I'll be curious to see what Fang does with no other options. Is she just going to run forward, or will the AI go ahead and refresh the buff? There's Whining Blade coming out from Squall. Good DPS there. Fang just charging in, saving that CT, I guess. Man, here it would have been really nice to have her long range spear move on, because she would have been dropping it turn 3, which is ideal. So that makes me think that you can basically just leave her kit alone if you're on a little bit longer map. In fact, I say if you're on a little bit longer map, you definitely want to leave her longer attack on. But on a short map like this, or this is a medium-sized map, really, turning it off felt better. Okay, there's Dual Smite, big damage right there from her. We don't chain it because Squall got all his AP knocked away. Befuddling Spearfall, there's the chaining. We actually land the Confuse this time, which is nice. We'll chain with ourselves, more big damage. Squall Trick Thrust, there we go. Good job, Squall. Way to use your piercing moves from your sub job to synergize with the squad. Here's Sildra doing 12 damage. Yeah, it was 12. And then we auto heal it, so it's actually like negative 12. Again, nothing. This is not a good fight to judge how tanky or not tanky our team is, by the way. We're fighting water right here. We obviously were going to be tanky against water because we have the Sleer versus Raychez vision card for agility. And we'll finish this off with an Odin. I'm going to go ahead and skip the animation because I think this is a kill. There it is. We win. And there you go. There's Fang. There's kind of like Fang 101. I think she's cool. I think she's fun. Is she worth reincarnating? If you're a fan of her, yes. I've max reincarnated Squall. That's a max reincarnated Squall right there. Was he worth max reincarnating? For me, he was. And so if you're a Fang fan, I'm just going to go ahead and yeet this last one. If you're a Fang fan, I think you'll enjoy her. I think she'll be really fun for you. And if you want to throw some reincarnations at her, heck, go for it. Who's going to stop you? Maybe this Mono Earth team will stop us. Okay, fine. One more fight. One more fight. This is the ultimate test. We are going to lose this. FYI, we don't win this fight. There's no shot. You should not pick this. If you are running mono lightning, you should not throw into 2P Bradley. And who was the other one? Was it Halloween Lucio? Are we fighting full evade Earth? Maybe. This is going to be a beat down by them, I think, but it's good content. Maybe. Either way, whenever I do these, like one of the reasons, YouTube comments are always funny because people think they like have a gotcha comment. You know, not a comment about a gotcha game, but a like gotcha comment. And they're like, duh, you're winning. You're playing lightning into water. It is a strategy RPG. And like choosing not to fight water with your lightning team would be an interesting choice. So like, here's the opposite. For all the haters out there, here's the opposite thing happening. Oh, it's a Melnia. So here's what Fang has working for her. A lot of single target and AoE resist. She's got that working for her. And she does have a physical shield. These are all physical damage units. Now, if they can break her shield, she does not have the option to nullify that anymore, but she will have her courage working for her. Squall does find, ooh, good damage, Squall. Maybe this team we're fighting just isn't, isn't built super legit, although that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. Oh, man, Fang, courage. Okay, the courage pops. Fang is going to get to hit them, at least, or she's going to get to try to hit them. She dual smites Bradley, pops his courage. He does not CT lap us, which means Squall can kill him. Technically, we're in the lead right now. We get reflexed by Melnia, so that feels real bad. That feels real bad. Any kind of lead we had, Melnia just kind of neutralized. Heck, we probably killed her right there if she doesn't reflex the... Wait, maybe we kill her anyway. God, okay, she's definitely dead had she not reflexed earlier. Still, I don't hate our chances. Fang has found a way to kind of remove herself from the fight a little bit. So she's going to get another chance. Ooh, that's a really unfortunate follow-up attack. So Fang's dead. She will kill Melnia. And we end up losing right here, but it wasn't a stomp. Like, it was a loss. You expect the loss, but we actually performed admirably. You know, but there's no, what do they call it? Whatever. A win's a win, a loss is a loss. We take the L right there, and that's where we'll end the video. So there's your Fang showcase. I hope this was helpful in some kind of way. Good luck building and playing Fang, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.